Hello everyone, Professor Toybox here along with Vanellope von Schweetz, and I'm back with another viewer request. I had been planning to do the Dark Forces series again, but I had several requests from folks on how to build the Wreck-It Ralph hub that I had showed in an earlier video. And the question most people seem to have is how I built those towers and put together the hub. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Once again, here's the picture of what we're trying to build. The hub in Wreck-It Ralph is set up like a train station, and those towers are actually the plugs for the power strip that the arcade games are plugged into, and the tunnels from those towers lead into the power cords that run to the arcade games. So that's what I tried to build here with the limited pieces that I had available, and now I'll show you how I did that. And for that, I'll head over to a brand new toy box and meet you over there in just a moment. Okay, here we are in a brand new toy box, and we'll go ahead and start with the ground here first. So I'll come into Spark mode, and the texture that I'm using for the floor is the Frosted White World texture. I'll set that to be my theme. That provides a nice marble looking texture for the floor. And then the background for the towers behind them, come into the terrain drawer, and we need some blocks about this size. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down one, let's say about here. Doesn't quite matter where. And for this, we're going to use Flynn's World as our texture. And this provides a nice black block for the background of the towers. And we'll go ahead and stack 3 of these on top of each other. And then we'll put a couple of smaller ones in the middle. And this is providing the spacing for the tower. And we'll build the tower in front of this. So the rest of the tower is built with blocks, and so we'll come up to the blocks drawer, and we'll go ahead and start over here with these flat pieces. And I'm going to start with this one, and we're going to put this one block over like so. And I'm going to go ahead and set the texture for this. And we're using several textures. A Plastic 2 texture. I'll set that to be my theme for right now. And for the metallic pieces of the plugs and such, we'll use the metal texture next door. But for right now, this is what we need. And we'll stack 2 of these on top of each other. And then we'll come over here and drop a couple of these flat blocks like that. And one more. And then we'll grab this short block wall next to it, and I'm going to turn it and put it in here. So from the ground, it looks like it's a solid piece. But actually, it's not. And yeah, so that should work for that. And then we'll come up, and we're going to put one block here and a block here and stack those on top of each other. And I'm going to leave a 1 block gap. And then we'll come to the short block wall, and I'm going to put 1 here and 2 there. And that's the hole where the plug is going to go, one of the prongs for the plug. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side and mirror this basically. So we're going to come over here, 1 block in. and then 2, leave a gap. And then put in 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom. And that leaves a hole 3 blocks high for the prong of the plug. So that's the sides of the 2 towers. And now, let's see. I want to come over to the initial block that you have when you open the blocks drawer, which is this little guy. And we're going to come down here and just check my notes. This one goes like that. So it's at the second block high, like so. And then we'll come next door to the tall block. And now for this is actually going to sit out just a little bit, about half a block, like that. And we're going to put this 3 blocks high. And we're going to do this on the other side as well. And we'll put 1 at the top to kind of close it off a little bit, like that. And there we go. Then we'll come back over to the flat pieces. And I'm going to put this down because right now you can see the seams for the blocks, and this will help hide it. So we come over here like that. And put this flat facing on the front. Unlike the blocks, this has flat corners, not rounded corners, so the gaps aren't quite as noticeable. And that looks a little bit better. And then we'll put 1 block in here at about the halfway point. And it's very important, you want to flip this around so that it lines up at the same position as this block out here that we dropped earlier. Because we're going to put a couple of blocks on the front of this. And if you got it flipped around the other way, it's not going to let you place those. So that's all lined up. And that's it for the white pieces. And we need 1 black piece. So I'm going to come back over here. This is the piece where the name of the game that's plugged into the slot here would be displayed. And I'm going to grab that. And this is going to use the modern. And I'll just hit apply because I don't want to set that to be my theme. And there we go. So now we'll work on the metal pieces. And, whoops, 1 more block I forgot. We need 1 of these up behind here, which will fill in that gap. There we go. Alright, so now we'll work on the metal pieces. And for this, we're going to drop a vertical block right here. And I'm going to set the texture for this to be our Metal 1 texture. And I'm going to put 1 on the other side. And this, coincidentally, is also the same block we need for the plugs. So we may as well put that in right now. Like that. And then there's a sloped surface. It comes up like this. And like that. Okay, so next we're going to come back over to the flat pieces, and we need to line this tunnel with this same texture. So we're going to come down and, oops, that's the one I want. And And then do the exact same thing on the other side. And then we'll come over to the smaller piece. And same thing on the other side. And unfortunately, I don't have a flat piece that's an angle, so I can't really stick anything there. And we're going to go ahead and drop one more block back behind here, because you can see there's a bit of a gap behind there. So that will help fill that in. And then another block down behind. And we need a floor ceiling on this thing. So we'll grab the large floor, and we're going to use this as a ceiling actually. And we'll line it up under here, and I'm going to turn it, I think. There, and there's our tunnel. And now we'll come back down to the terrain drawer, and I'm going to put one of these right in here, like that. So that looks pretty good. And then we'll put the little screw that's on the front of this. And for the screw, the block that I'm using, there's two of them. There's this upside down half dome. And we're going to center this and put it right above the black piece here. And if we hadn't flipped this piece behind it around, it would not let us place this here. So that's the bottom of the screw. And then over here a little ways, we have the top part of that that goes with it. And so that looks kind of like a screw, metallic screw. So that's the tower on the front side and how you would build that. For the tunnel on the back side, I'm going to come over here and we'll go back down to the terrain drawer. And I need a couple of these flat pieces. And I want to center this about like that. I'm going to put one down first, and we'll change the texture back over to our frosted white world texture. And then I'm going to drop a second block, and I'm positioning this so that it's about 2/3 of the way past that, if that makes sense. Actually, I think it needs to go here. So scratch that, never mind. And then we'll slide this over like that. And now this piece here, I want to line up with the back edge of this so that that's all flush, because I want to put down one more piece here. We're going to put down this half piece. And I'll put down a couple of them. And for the sides of the tunnel back here, we'll put down a couple of these. And like so. Now, also put down one over here and one over here, because the next piece we need is for the tunnel itself, which is the cord, the subway tunnel that leads into the game or whatever's plugged into the slot. So if we come up to Building Sets Group 5, I use the Death Star entrance block for this. And this will not sit flush like that because it hits those blocks, but that's okay. It can sit back just a little bit. It's not a problem. And now you can see all the way through that, and I don't want it to look like that goes nowhere. I want it to look like it kind of goes off into the distance, and a distance you can't see. And so I'm going to put down another block here on the back side of this. And we're going to need 4 of these, but the metal texture is not what we need. I need the blackest texture I've got, and for that I use the black top. So now when you look through the tunnel, it looks like it goes off into nothingness, which is very good. And with the tunnel down now we can put in the train tracks from the Marvel Battlegrounds playset. So we'll come into the decorations drawer, and there's a train track piece. I want to center that here, and I can slide this all the way back to the wall like that. And I can put down 3 of these. And we'll put down a little barrier here for the train to stop on, and then our subway car like that. Now, next thing we'll need are some stairs. And I'm going to come over here and drop a couple of these stairs. And of course that's not going to do at all. So I'm going to come back over, and I think I'm going to use that, let's see, did I use concrete? Yeah, that'll work. And we need 2 of those on either side. And a couple of blocks underneath that. And then we need a railing up top, so up in Building Sets Group 7, we have the Asgardian railings. And that provides a nice little finishing touch here. There. And once that's done, then we can go ahead and cover this over with another terrain block. Fairly large one. Or a couple of these. And there you go. So that's the tower and the subway tunnel. Oops, why did it put me up here? That was weird. That's just bizarre. And there we go. There's our tower with the subway tunnel. And you run on in. I love the way she runs. And that's how you get your subway tunnel. And another finishing touch that I had done in the toy box was I had put down, let's see, under the blocks drawer, there's some carpeting in the game. And so if we use the floor, large floor texture again, I put this down so that it's out here about 2 blocks out. And with the lighting in this toy box, the one that seems to work best is the chrome kind of gives it a off color there that matches what's in the movie. Any other lighting, that looks weird, but in this one it looks pretty good. And then you add the finishing touches, which I'll show you in just a second as I take you back over to the finished hub. Okay, so here we are back in the finished hub, and basically you've just got towers on that side and towers on this side. And I put down a little carpeted area here with, oh, hi Felix, with some couches and things from the decorations drawer. And these little rope railings are from Building Sets Group 3, the Disneyland rope railings. The texture here on the floor, large floor blocks, is the inside-out grass texture. And then I got some little newsstands from the decorations drawer or Building Sets Group 2 or the buildings drawer. Some of these were from Incredibles and different things. And we've got some from the plants drawer, these little planted Asgardian railings with some more couches, and then a few Disneyland buildings over here for Main Street USA with some umbrella tables, and I've got the churros cart and a hot dog stand and some different little things to kind of look like a food court, and some little trash cans sprinkled around. So yeah, so those are the finishing touches that I put on it. It's a pretty easy build. Once you know how to build those towers, you just build 3 of them on that side and 3 on this side. Those blocks down there are just more of the same Frosted White World texture blocks, just set up to create a window. And same for over here. So that should be everything you need to know in order to reproduce this on your own. And I want to thank you for watching. Next time I definitely will get started on the Dark Forces series again. Meanwhile, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my YouTube channel or sign up on my blog so you don't miss my next episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.